Hey bosses, day one on a new challenge. Zorro and I are back for another July challenge. Funny thing about this is the last time that Zorro did a July Horse Boss challenge, he became a barrel horse. He went from a reining background to a barrel horse. So I'm excited. It's actually come at a really good time in our journey because about 3 weeks ago I decided that he is going to be my rodeo horse. So confidence in the arena could not have come at a better time. I'll be honest, I've held him back because I had him in this nice little tidy box that had him wrapped up, and a lot of my friends, since saying that okay, this is it, it's time, they're like, about time. But we had to get there. Are we ready to be with the best in Australia in the rodeo arena? Maybe not, but I think for something really big, you're never going to be ready. So you've just got to do it. And so that's what we'll be doing. So I saw this challenge come up. I wasn't sure because it's winter time here and we've had a lot of rain and it's cold and all the things that, we all go through every winter. Motivation gets low. But I think this will help. Because we've got some big events coming up in September, and some rodeos starting again August, September, October. So I think this will set us up beautifully for that. This is Zorro's competition bit. It's a JNC Mojo with a cricket in the middle, smooth mouth. I really like this bit for him because he's got a really sensitive mouth, but he does tend to drop his shoulder and stiffen up on me. So I just feel like with this amount of gag in it, as Fallon explains, the bigger the gag, the longer it takes for the response. It allows him to feel the pressure but not get scared by it. This is also a shorter shank. I don't feel like I need a big gag on, shank on him. The cricket I got because he's a really anxious horse. As they say, it's something for him to play with. Whether I stick with that in the future as he gets more confident, I don't know. With his curve chain, it's a chain, but I have to wrap it. As you can see, the chain is too much for him on its own, but wrapped he is fine. This sort of goes in with day 2, but this is, I used to run him in this bit, but I found it was too much. It's also a JNC. It's a leverage bit with a twisted wire mouthpiece. I found it was too much for him because he's so sensitive, and as we were getting faster and he was more confident, this short gag there was just far too much for him. It's the same size shank as the other bit, but as you can see, the gag is different. I do, however, use this in training with him sometimes, particularly if we've had a run where he's dropping his shoulder really bad. I just feel like in training with the shorter gag, this gives me, it gets me a little bit more assertive with him without being heavy with my hands. So I don't typically change my horse's bits competition to training at home, but I have found at times this is beneficial for Zorro. Okay, day 2. I feel like we have a good angle to the first drum. I feel like I've got his nose. I do need to let go of my horn a little earlier leaving the first, or I tend to move my hand over his neck and we kind of spaghetti out of it. And so then 1, we will lose time in correcting the angle to second, and then 2, we will go wide to second and then stiffen up on the back side of the drum and don't ride to our points, especially leaving the drum. Third drum, the angle is okay. I've got more nose, but again, we stiffen on the back side of the drum and lose momentum. We're perfect in the walk. Can feel us starting to stiffen in the trot.
and then it's just more obvious in the lobe. I don't like to over circle generally, as in go round and round and around the drums. I like to wait for the response I wanted and then leave it on to the next one. Even felt the flat spots on the backside just doing circles today, so that is what I will be working towards tomorrow in day 3.
Okay, today, day 3, the one thing I am going to work on today is those flat spots that I felt in Zorro yesterday. But I'm going to do it one-handed, because the thing I really need to focus on, as I've said in my letter to myself, is being confident to go to my horn during a run. So that is going to be the focus of this challenge for me. So what I do slow, I need to do fast. What I do fast, I need to do slow. So in training, I'm going to go to my horn. And so today I'm going to go to my horn and focus on those flat spots while being confident enough to stay at my horn and not go back to two-handed.
Okay, my one thing today is staying confident going to my horn, but working on those flat spots from yesterday. I'm not going back to my comfort zone, which is two-handed. I was going to shorten my reins and go one-handed, but no. I'm going to stay a bit longer in the rein to not get comfortable and make me slide my hand down. It was a bit of a hot mess. Didn't know where to put my hands. They were too high, then pulling him into the drum. Finally worked out down and forward to stay off his face, as he was bracing before and hollowing out his back and crossfiring. Also, I still think it's my hip blocking me in that right-handed turn because it's strained on the outside and has no give. The ligaments have no stretch or give. I'm a lot softer in my body to the left-handed turn, so following on from today, I am going to work on my hip flexibility. Oh wow. Today proves just how unfit he is in the hind end. He was crossfiring, getting stressed and agitated. He was disengaging. I feel like I was a little looser in my hips. We were good on the big circle, no flat spots like yesterday, but he doesn't want to finish his turns. But hey, I don't always help him finish them either. I stopped riding on the backside half the time. So the link, flat spots in our circle work, equals me not finishing. Like I'm not sitting there helping him either. I go flat as well, so it's really no wonder that he goes flat. Okay, I thought today would be a piece of cake, because looking at the top of my drum is something that I actually do. It's something that was suggested to me from a fellow horse boss about 2 years ago. So I thought it'd be easy. I felt that he didn't want to flex to the right and was really stiff to the left. He became strong in my hands at one point. Look, he was better once he understood the drill, and he did become much freer to the left. I feel like he holds his rib up, but today he was really stiff in his neck. So yeah, I was a bit surprised. I thought this was going to be a piece of cake, but I think again it stems from weakness in the hind end. So we'll keep working at it, and I know we'll get there.
Hey bosses, so day 6, the third barrel drill and running all the way to the gate. Gonna try to get that in. It's after work, so I'm in my uniform. We're meant to get some rain, so I was gonna wait till tomorrow to do that one. I sort of wanted to give him a day off doing drums, but I'm gonna do that today just in case it's raining tomorrow and my surface turns to crap. So here we go.
Okay, day 6, our warm-up in total was 12 minutes, and although I've sped this right up because no one needs to sit through 12 minutes of a warm-up, I only walk and trot at a max, and that is what I do on the day of a barrel race. I want to conserve his energy. I just want to know that he's going to listen to my body. So I do a lot of weight distribution, just making sure that he will move off my seat and off my leg. And so today I really replicated exactly what I do on the day of a barrel race, to emulate what I think today was meant to be about. And I even did my big breaths before I run. Then we went to the pattern. I didn't gas him. Didn't gas him enough because my foot touched every drum going in, but I know that's all that was. I was so proud. I went to my horn for every single drum. We're only 6 days in and I'm achieving a goal. We got the lead changes. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't run straight all the way home, but on to tomorrow, and on to the rest of the next week, because I'm super excited now.
Okay, that was really good. He did everything I wanted. Now the only thing, I turned the camera off because I was like, he's done it, I'm not doing it again. It's getting late too, I don't want to heat him up too much, and then the cold night air set in, so I was like, he did it, and then I realised I didn't do my last bit, which was ride to the gate, and I'm annoyed about that because riding to the gate is something, or into the box is something that I have been working so hard for and actually achieved in my last few runs, and then today I didn't do it. I think I was more thinking about getting that outside rain to get that lead change, and I forgot about running to the gate. So what did he do? He ducked off like he used to. So anyway, I'm not going to run him again because I'm not going to punish him for something that I forgot. So anyway, we'll work on that the next time we're on. We'll just work on that the next time I'm on the pattern. So, and I'll video that as well, because it is something I've been doing the last few runs, because it's something I've worked since January this year really, really hard on, because I was definitely that person that quit riding because I was anticipating my horse ducking off, and that was something that people, for want of a better word, criticise me for all the time. They're like, Mel, you're setting up too early. So when Fallon said that the other day in the video, I was like, yeah, that's me. Well, that was me. And that was me today. So anyway, won't be me next time because I'll remember all the things. Well, we made it to the end of our first week of the challenge. I can already feel things changing. Yesterday, going to my horn on all 3 drums, that was massive. I used to go to my horn, and then I just started going two-handed again on my other horse because I needed that to balance myself on him. And then it transferred over to Zorro, and I don't know why I haven't been able to go back, but it's kind of been my little safety net, I suppose. So I feel awesome that 1 week down and I'm right on my way to achieving my goals. So bring on week 2.